So as a lab for this, we are going to create a couple of fields here. I will be creating some fields. Later on, other fields you'll have to create as per the schema which will be shared with you. So let's go ahead and create some fields here. So first of all, I'll have to create a object, right? So in my case, I already have the student master object created, right? So you can just go ahead and create, like, say, if let me show you the student master object. Now this is a custom object, right? This is a custom object which is not part of any standard application, which is this is my own custom object. What we are going to do is we are going to create a student master app where we will track some student masters, and then we'll have a student marks, and then we'll also use some student activities. So we'll be using all the features of Salesforce in this. Okay, so let us use the force.com to extend this. So continuing on this topic, so you are going to create a similar one which is there in the, we're going to create a completely new custom object, custom app, and then expose it. Okay, so before we do that, let's do one thing. Let's create some fields in accounts, okay, which is a standard object. So for that, I am going to navigate to my sales application, and within my sales application I have accounts, correct? So in my accounts, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a couple of fields here. Now if I go into this particular object record, these are the fields that I have. So let's go ahead and create some fields. Okay, so first, as I told you, there are some standard fields which Salesforce gives you, because this is a standard application. Accounts is part of a standard application. So in addition to the created by owner, you get a n number of fields here. So now if you see, go scroll down, you will see there is a set of fields that have got created here. So what we are going to do here is we are going to use this. So these are, like, if you see, it's got an _C. So these are all custom fields which I have created. So let us create some set of fields here for accounts and expose them in the UI. Okay, so for that, what we do here is, see, if I on the setup screen, on the left side, as I told you, these are the, under customize, you will find your standard objects. So click on account and click on fields here. Let's create some custom fields. So first field that we are going to create is, click on new, and here it shows you the data types that you can create. Auto number is a serial number, roll up summary, and lookup relation, external lookup relationship we'll see later. Then you have formula fields, and then you have checkbox. So let's create an auto number field here. So this is like a sequence number. So let us click next. And I'll say account serial number, and I'll say a that. So now if there are already records in the existing database, it will create, but right now I'm going to start from here. So if I have any help test, this is a serial number. So if you want, you can keep it as a unique record. And we proceed. So as I told you that, all the fields should be available for the system administrator profile. Click next. It's automatically marked as. And then the thing here is, when we create a new field, it will tell you like which layout it should place. So right now it is placing it in all the layouts. Don't do that. You can deselect and add it only to the sales layout. So once that is done, we are going to go ahead and create a new field, like say formula field, and say formula is So you can decide what kind of date or formula or what you want to actually add. So you can just say text field and I'll say account formula. So it fills it, and now I'm going to return the type of data. So there are various this contains an entire so you can select, this is similar to, there are functions and there are fields if you want to coordinate it with the account name. So I can select the account name and add, say, plus formula added. So this will get added to that particular field. Alright, so next. So this is an expression. Now there is an expression builder in this. What happens is you can select any of this. We'll look at all of these details in later. Right now we'll create a simple formula. Proceed with the next. So the same steps you have to include, see that it is included for the correct. As you can see, all the formula fields have become read-only by default. So again, we are going to add it only to the sales layout. And go ahead for the new field creation. So the rest of the fields will roll up summary requires, roll up summary is basically if you have a master detail, it is going to roll up the details from, roll up the counts or sum from the child records to the master records. Right now we are not going to do that. We'll look at it when we create the relationships. So we're going to skip this lookup. Lookup is a one-to-one if you want to have with another object. So you can associate it. For that we can use it. So right now we can create an account, or we will come back to the relationship later. So let's create a checkbox. Now it will create automatically of type checkbox and say account is valid and keep it default. Next. So as you can see on the field, when we create a field, it asks you for a couple of properties, right? So let's say next. Right now it's going to be visible for system admin 2, and next. So again I'm going to add it only to the account sales layout. Why am I adding only to the account sales layout? Because it is just for a requirement here. I want to show you this. Otherwise, as per your requirement, you can add it to the layouts. So similarly, you have some other date fields, currency fields, like say currency will give you the current currency, geolocation, number. So let's these are like pretty counterintuitive, self-intuitive. You know what it is. Date, say account set date, and we'll create this, and then it asks us if it has to be required. If you make it required, you'll get a red band over there. Or if you want to add a formula, right now we're going to skip all of that. We can just make this account start date as required. Click next, and we'll see again previous. I don't want to add it to all the layouts, so I did that. So I'm going to come back previous. No, so since it is required, it is getting added to all the layouts. That is the reason. Otherwise it was asking me for the layout. Right now it is getting added to all the layouts because I have marked it as required. So that's the thing about Salesforce. There are some things that it detects automatically. So now when we're going to create a new data type now. So date we have created, say number and email. Okay. Say account email. So now I can say whether it's required, unique, external ID. As I told you, email ID, text and number can be marked as external ID. So right now we are not going to do that. We are going to just select this. And we click next and proceed. So now again, since it is not a required field, it is allowing me to select the layout. I can choose it to add, choose to add to. So now click save and new. Now I need to create another data type. So now we have seen, so you can create some of these fields on your own if you feel. Percentage again. So let us also select a phone. Let's say account mobile phone. again I keep it visible, and I'm going to keep it in the only one layout. I'm going to expose it only in one layout. Click on save. See, the configuration for Lightning also is the same way. Lightning contains something called as record pages, which is slightly different in addition to layouts, but the underlying thing for a record page comes from layout. So layout is very important to understand. The next data type that we are going to create is of type pick list. So you can always have multi-select pick list, right? So say account region pick list, and you're going to select enter values. We're not going to use global pick list now. We'll say west, east, north, south. So you just enter the values, and then it will say if you want to order it, and if you want to use a default value, restrict picklets. If you do not want any other values to be entered. So these are some rules you can set here. So we are good now. So let's select the pick list next. So what we are basically doing here, we are creating custom fields. Yeah. So let's go here next. So again, I'm going to add it only to the sales layout. Save and new. Okay, so you can select try all of the other ones. So let me just select text area. Text area is more like a description. So I'm going to select account description. Alright, so now it's just added it to the account sales layout. Again, I'm going to add it only to the account sales layout. And one last data type will create, and that will be the end of the fields that we have created. The last of the fields we have created. Or I think that's good for now. As what we will do is let's proceed with the fields. So click over here. So now when you go down, you will have created all those fields over there, right? There are some additional fields which I have created. So, but in addition to that, you will find the fields that we have created over here if you go down. All right. So please check that, create these fields. The next one is we are going to edit the layout. Okay. So now if I want to see this in action, so let's select sales. Since I have added it to the account sales layout, sales application, select the accounts tab. Now when I select this particular object, a record, it is going to show me my fields. Now this is a bit of a now it's showing you so many fields here. So the fields which we have created has also got mixed up. So as you can see, we cannot see the fields. That is because this accounts object is using a different layout, because based on record data type. So if we go to accounts and create a new, so we have got some record type added over here. So I need to do some mapping to see to it that, you know, we will see the, so now let us associate the, so I have some record types created. Record types are basically types of records that you can have for an object. So we need to do some mapping over here. When I go to my object, I see the record types, and if you remember, I had added it to the page layouts. Okay, account sales layout. So if you come back to this account sales layout, now if you go to the account object and click on page layouts, everything was added to the account sales layout. What I want to do is I want to arrange this into a particular section. When you click on that edit layout, it will open up the layout builder. Okay, so this is where all the fields, everything is arranged. So as you can see, the account serial number, everything has got added over here, but this is not good enough. You know, it needs to have a, I want to create a separate section for this. So this is where all the fields are there. So I'm going to drag a section from here and put it over here, and I'm going to say it's a 2-column section called as account online demo fields, and select OK. So now this is an empty placeholder. So now these are the fields which I have added, right? The account now, serial number, So click on that, left click your mouse button and keep control pressed. Similarly select all the fields, left click the mouse button, keep control pressed, and drag all of them into this account online field. So now what has happening is all the fields that we have created have got moved to a particular section, so we know what we have created, not messing it up. So what we did was we went to accounts object, went to the page layouts. Now let's save this, and we edited the sales layout. Once we edit the sales layout, so now if you see this account online demo fields, now let us see something. Let us go to the application and see whether this is working or not. So I'll select say sales app. I went to one of the open tabs. Now please understand what's happening here. I go to accounts here. Now when I select this account, what is happening is I'm not able to see my particular section. Correct? It is showing hotel as view. That is because I have record types created here. So even if I create account, in your case maybe you're able to see it, but here I have selected only these 4 data types, right? So these 4 types are available for me. So let me first create record type of account sales. So I'll go to the object. I'm going to create a record type for this particular account object and I'm going to say click new record type. I'm just going to add, let master be there, and I'll say account sales and make it active. So now a new record type has got, and I'm going to enable it for only system admin profile. I click next. And now it's asking me which page layout do you need to. So I'm going to say like for my, so right now let's select that up. So I created a new and just saved. So I created a new record type. Okay, I need to select the page layout. So this is going to be my account sales layout, which is an existing one. So I have created another new record type of account sales. So it also shows me all the pick list for the record type. So that is fine. But let's come back to the record types. Now I have 5 record types. In your case, you will not have any record type. So you please create this particular record type under accounts. But after that, there is one more thing to do. We have a page layout, record type, and profile assignment. So right now your profile for the default user, the manage user, the default user is system administrator. System administrator is your default profile. So we are going to map the record type to this profile to the layout. So let's come back here. Because so when you select account, it will show you that record type, and when you select that account type for your profile, it will show you this account sales layout. So we have created a new record type. Now let's do the page layout assignment for that. How do you do that is click on page layout assignment. It will show you all the currently assigned page layout. So we are currently fine here. The account sales layout is assigned correctly over here. If at all you want to change it, what we do is we go over here and select any particular layout or a profile, any particular record type, and we will assign a particular layout for it. Right now we don't need to do that. It is taken the correct layout. So now when I go to accounts and create new record, it's now going to show me one additional account sales record type. I'll click on account sales, click continue. Oh, okay, there is one couple of more things here. So I have overridden. I'll just give me a minute. I'll get back over here. In your case, you can just go ahead and create it because it will not give you this. In my case, the new button is overridden. That's the reason. I have overridden my new button with a Visual Force page. So so let's take it the default. So no overrides. I can also skip the record type selection, but I won't. I will select the record type. Okay. So I'm going to use the classic override. What it is asking me here is if I use lightning, what should I use? So let me use the classic override, which is actually no override. So let's save this. Yeah, so now when I go to accounts, click new and select hook account sales, it's going to take me to the layout which we created, and I should be able to see the fields. If you remember, these are the fields which we created, right? So let's start entering the data for it. Whatever fields you are required, and come to the section that you have actually created. So see the check text box, account email. Now let us say we enter some wrong account email, and let's see what happens. See, when it is giving us an error message telling invalid email address. So now this is some amazing, one of the amazing validation features of Salesforce. When you select the data type phone, phone or email or URL, it's going to automatically detect. You're not writing any JavaScript code. So this is one of the biggest advantages here. So if we just select and check whether if the format is correct. Now if you save it, the account will get saved. Oops, there's still some errors here. Yeah, that's because I have some other required fields. So I'm going to save this record, and yeah, the record got saved. And now if you see this section, you can also see your data. See the formula field, account online demo formatted. So that's great. So please save this till here and create this fields under account, and then we can proceed forward.